If someone had told me years ago that I'd be standing on the Welsh coastline, watching the waves crash against the Aberystwyth promenade while reflecting on my PhD journey, I would have laughed, not because it was impossible, but because it felt so far from the world I knew. Yet here I am, and as the year comes to an end, I can't help but look back at 2025 with a heart full of gratitude. This year has been a year of contrasts, a year of highs and lows, a year of clarity and confusion, a year that stretched me, challenged me, and ultimately changed me. Coming from Africa, home is not just a place. It's a feeling. It's warmth, community, noise, laughter, and familiarity. It's knowing your neighbor's voice, your mother's cooking, your language flowing effortlessly from your tongue. Leaving that behind to pursue a PhD in Aberystwyth was not just a decision, it was a leap of faith. And 2025 reminded me of that leap every single day. Living abroad reshapes you in ways you never expect. What once felt normal becomes distant. What once felt foreign becomes familiar. Suddenly, you're learning new routines. How people greet each other, how they communicate, how they work, how they rest. You start to realize that the world is bigger, more nuanced, and more layered than you ever imagined. And slowly, quietly, your values evolve. Let's talk about PhD itself. A PhD is not just about research. It's about resilience. It's about waking up on days when your brain feels empty and writing anyway. It's about reading the same paragraph 5 times until it finally makes sense. It's about learning to accept feedback, even when it stings. Doing a PhD abroad adds another layer. You're not just learning academically, you're learning culturally, emotionally, personally. You're learning how to navigate systems you didn't grow up with. How to ask for help when you're used to figuring things out alone. How to stay warm in winter your bones have never experienced. And through it all, Aberystwyth becomes more than a university town. It becomes a teacher, a companion, a quiet, steady presence in your journey. Let me be honest. I thought I knew rain. Aberystwyth said, "Let me show you something." But the weather taught me something deeper: resilience. Some days the sky is grey, the wind is loud, and everything feels heavy. Other days, the sun breaks through and the whole town glows. Life abroad is exactly like that. Some days are storms, some days are sunshine, and both are part of the journey. One of the most beautiful parts of 2025 was the kindness of strangers. A smile when I felt lost, a lecturer who took time to explain something again, a friend who invited me for tea, a neighbor who asked how I was settling in. These small gestures soften the hardest days. Because belonging isn't always about location. Sometimes it's about connection. And Aberystwyth is full of people who make you feel seen. 2025 taught me independence in a way I had never experienced before. Living abroad doesn't give you the option to rely on what's familiar. You learn to figure things out, from opening a bank account to navigating academic expectations to understanding British humor. With independence comes adaptability. You adjust your habits, your expectations, sometimes even your dreams. And in that process, you become more open-minded. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You start asking different questions. Not why is it like this, but what can I learn from this? And that shift changes everything. Progress as an immigrant is rarely dramatic. It's quiet, it's subtle. It's one step forward, a pause, sometimes even a step back. But 2025 taught me that slow progress is still progress. Every challenge survived, every lesson learned, every small victory, from understanding a new system to finishing a chapter draft, matters. And each one builds you. Living abroad means learning to live with uncertainty. Uncertainty about the future, about plans, about outcomes, about where home truly is. But uncertainty isn't a weakness. It's part of the journey. And within that uncertainty, we find resilience. We learn to keep moving forward, even without all the answers. We learn to trust the process. We learn to trust ourselves. 2025 shaped us in ways both seen and unseen, strengthening our character, expanding our worldview, and deepening our appreciation for growth in all its forms. As the year ends, reflection brings renewal. We carry forward the lessons of 2025 with gratitude and determination. We step into the next year wiser, more grounded, and more hopeful. Because this journey, this PhD, this experience abroad, this chapter of becoming is bigger than a degree. It's about identity. It's about courage. It's about transformation. And to every international student watching this, especially from those from Africa, hear me clearly. Your dreams are valid. Your journey is possible. And Aberystwyth might just be the place where your life changes forever. You didn't just travel to study. You traveled to become. And you are becoming. Beautifully, bravely, and one day at a time.
So